This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Tesla is giving up on massive one-piece gigacastings, according to Reuters. Last year, reports came out that it was trying to come up with a way to cast the entire underbody of a car in one piece. It's rumored the development was for a new small vehicle platform, and like its other gigacastings, this would have combined many parts into one casting, which reduces manufacturing complexity and costs. But apparently now it's given up on those plans. However, if we've learned anything from following along with Caresoft's teardown of the Cybertruck, it's that Tesla's ramping up its use of castings, not just with large front and rear main body structures, but also with smaller parts and pieces like seat brackets. Tesla revealed in its Q1 results that it's going to make more affordable cars by combining its current platform with its next-gen platform. So, pairing that with what we've seen on the Cybertruck, we believe Tesla will start using smaller castings much more as a way to incrementally cut the number of parts it uses. And you'll get to see that more tomorrow when we post John's latest Cybertruck teardown video with Caresoft president Terry Wachowski. And sticking with Tesla, we're also getting a better idea of the impact of laying off all those people working on EV charging. Elon Musk says it's going to build less brand new Supercharger locations and will instead focus on 100% uptime and expansion of existing locations. On Tuesday, Musk fired the senior director of EV charging as well as most of her team, which was about 500 people. Based on the articles we've read and the comments we've seen, this hasn't been a popular move with both customers and charging experts. But let us know what you think in the comments section. Whether it's accelerator pedals coming apart, fuel pumps failing, or another defective airbag inflator, doesn't it seem like there's been a lot of recalls lately? Well, it's not just anecdotal. Last year, there were 382 recalls that affected more than 33 million vehicles. That's actually more recalls than 2014, which was a record-setting year. It's just that the recalls affected a greater number of vehicles in 2014. The high rate of recalls is not all due to build quality problems. Increasingly defective parts from suppliers and new tech that doesn't have all the bugs worked out are leading to problems. While some of those tech problems can be fixed with over-the-air updates, these recalls are still very costly to automakers. GM, Ford, and Tesla spent $10 billion last year on warranty claims and recalls, which was $1 billion more than they spent 2 years ago. We've talked about GM and Volkswagen's sales struggles in China, but they're starting to see some success with their NEVs or new energy vehicles. Last month, Buick, Cadillac, and Chevy combined to sell a little under 9,000 NEVs, which is an increase of over 93% compared to last year. And VW says it sold more than 10,000 ID EVs in China last month, which would be an increase of at least 56%. That also matches the amount it sold in March. Both brands have seen their sales cut in half from their all-time highs, and they'll probably never get back to those levels. But this could be a sign that local automakers might not dominate foreign brands as badly as some expected.
There's nothing wrong with heavy metal.
Hey, lighten up.
But with world-class composite material, Teijin Automotive Technologies makes vehicles lighter, safer, and more eco-friendly.
Like many automakers, Cadillac is walking back its EV targets. The brand previously committed to having an EV-only lineup by 2030. But John Roth, Cadillac's global vice president, told reporters that electric and gasoline powertrains, quote, will coexist for a number of years. He also said, quote, we will be offering an all-EV portfolio, but did not commit to an EV-only lineup, and he said that it will be up to customers to decide. So that likely means Cadillac will sell gas-powered cars, including hybrids, beyond 2030. This isn't too surprising because last year, it was reported that GM is planning to introduce hybrid models back into its U.S. lineup due to the slowdown in EV demand. Back in March, Stellantis laid off 400 engineers in the U.S. to help cut costs. And now Bloomberg reports that the company is recruiting engineers in countries like Morocco, India, and Brazil to replace them. Engineers in the US and Europe can earn anywhere between $150,000 and $200,000 a year, including benefits. But Stellantis is paying engineers from those other countries $53,000 or less a year. And now it eventually wants 2/3 of its engineers to come from low-cost countries because Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares says in order to make vehicles more affordable, it needs to cut costs. The company is also dealing with a tough market. Its sales were down 10% in the first quarter, which led to a 12% drop in revenue. Well, this is pretty clever. The electric motor in BMW's CE02, which is like a mix between a scooter and motorcycle, is actually a slightly modified alternator from some of its gas-powered cars. The alternator comes from 48-volt mild hybrid versions of the 3, 5, and 7 series cars and X-Series SUVs. But supplier Valeo made some modifications for use in the CE02. There, it makes 15 horsepower and 40 pound-feet of torque, which provides a top speed of 52 kilometers an hour, or about 32 miles an hour. Porsche says it could significantly cut the weight of the Taycan with aluminum. The automaker and Alum Mobility, a consortium of aluminum producers, authored a study that found replacing the steel roof in the Taycan with aluminum could cut the roof's weight by 40%, and most importantly, it can do so without sacrificing performance or safety. The study also found that switching to aluminum could simplify the manufacturing process because it would reduce the number of production parts being used by 20%. This is especially useful in an EV because an automaker can reduce the size of the battery or make the batteries more efficient, which would improve the range. Toyota is celebrating the opening of what it calls a tri-gen system at the Port of Long Beach in California, which was developed with a company called Fuel Cell Energy. It produces 3 different products: renewable electricity and hydrogen and usable water. The system was built to support Toyota's logistics operations at the port, which receives 200,000 Toyota and Lexus vehicles a year. Using biogas, Tri-Gen produces 2.3 megawatts of renewable electricity, up to 1,200 kilograms of hydrogen, and 1,400 gallons of usable water a day. The hydrogen is used to fuel up incoming Mirais and support Toyota's Class 8 fuel cell trucks operating at the port, and the water is used to wash the vehicles before customer delivery. Toyota says the Tri-Gen system is expected to help reduce more than 9,000 tons of CO2 emissions from the power grid each year. That brings us to the end of today's show. Thanks for tuning in.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering boost your game. Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility. And by ZF.
When the peace and quiet of your morning commute is as comforting as your morning macchiato. That's what really matters. Bridgestone Turanza EV tires. Less noise for more quiet comfort.
Immerse yourself in engineering innovation while enjoying a fun and engaging networking environment. Get ready for exciting new demonstrations and collaboration with Metro Detroit automotive engineers, R&D, operations professionals, and technical experts. Connect with professionals covering topics on software-defined vehicles, wireless battery management, virtual ECUs, the ongoing innovation in automotive Ethernet, 10-base T1S, and much more. Calibrate your knowledge in the shift towards centralized computing and software-defined vehicles for free at Intrepid's SDV Social on Wednesday, May 8th from 4 to 7 p.m. To register for this event, visit intrepidcs.com/SDVsocial.